Hello, good evening. In this session, we shall take on relational algebra. We shall understand what is relational algebra and what does it do in the database system. But before going into the details of relational algebra, first we should recall the job and functions of query processor. As we know, the basic role of query processor is to transform the user queries into the form that computers understandable form. So as we know, there are three basic components of query processor: parser, optimizer, and query engine. Now the user queries that the users issue, that give, is not understood by the computers, are not understood by the database systems. So it first requires user queries, transformation of user queries into the form that the computers understand. So what are these? What are the understandable forms? What are the forms that the computers understand? These are two. One is relational algebra, another one is relational calculus. Relational algebra is a procedural language. Relational calculus is a non-procedural language. Relational algebra is further in two forms. One is tuple calculus, another one is domain calculus. Now, when the user queries are transformed by query processor into a relational algebraic form, these queries are carried by query engine to the database manager, and database manager, after performing queries, after execution of the queries, fetches result from the database and gives the result to the user. Now, what actually is relational algebra? Relational algebra is a procedural language consisting with operations that is performed on one or more existing relations to derive result, that is output, result relations, without making any change in the original operand relation. So we have in fact one or two operand relations. Here in this example, we have P as one operand relation, Q as another operand relation. In RDBMS, we should make it clear, tables are known as relation. Rows of table, that is the horizontal structure of the table, is called tuple, and columns, vertical structure, is known as attribute. So in this example, P and Q are two operand relation. Union is operator, so here is the operator, and this is resultant relation R. So operand as well as the resultant relation all are in the form of relations, that is the tables. This relational algebra was originally proposed by E.F. Codd, and he actually proposed 8 operations. Later on, so many operations were further developed. Right? Now, these 8 operations proposed by Dr. E.F. Codd are union, intersection, minus or subtraction or difference, cross or Cartesian product, division, projection, selection, and join. Clear? Now, these three operations, union, intersection, and minus, these operations follow union compatibility rule. Later on we shall understand what is union compatibility rule. So these three operations can perform only when the operand relations agree with this rule, union compatibility rule. if the two relations are not following union compatibility rule, these three operations won't perform. These three operations, union, intersection and minus, won't be performed. So to perform these three operations, it is necessary, it is essential that the two operand relations must be union compatible. We shall understand it shortly. Now fourth is cross or Cartesian product. For cross product, there is no need of union compatibility rule. Now these four operations are called set theoretic operations. And the rest four operations, that is division, projection, selection and join, these are native relational operations. So in total we have 8 algebraic operations, out of which 4 are set theoretic operations and the rest 4 are native relational operations. Clear? All operations are binary operations, whereas projection and selection, all operations are binary except projection and selection. These are unary operations. Means union, intersection, minus, cross product, division and join need two operand relations, whereas we need only one operand relation in case of projection and selection. So these are unary operations and rest are binary operations. Now we have to understand some terms. Cardinality. What is cardinality? As we know in set theory, cardinality is a number of elements in a set. So here in this relational algebra, cardinality is the number of rows in a relation, that is number of tuples in a relation. The next term is arity or degree. Arity is the number of attributes in a relation. Now what is union compatibility rule? Union compatibility rule explains that two or more relations said to be union compatible if they agree in the name of the attributes and in degree of the attributes. This is one relation and this Q is another relation. So for union compatibility rule, we have to check these two relations must have the same degree, same arity. Means number of columns must be same. So P contains 3 columns, Q also contains 3 columns. Now we have to check the name of attributes. In P, the name of attributes are A, B and C, whereas in Q, again attribute names are A, B and C. So P and Q having similar degree as well as similar name of attributes, therefore these P and Q are union compatible, and so we can perform on these two tables these three operations: union, intersection and minus. Clear? So two relations P and Q are said to be union compatible if both P and Q are of the same degree n and the domains of the corresponding n attributes are identical. That is, if P equal to P1, P2, P3 and Pn and Q equal to Q1, Q2, Q3 up to Qn, then domain of Pi is equal to domain of Qi for I equal to 1 to n, where dom Pi, that is domain Pi, represents domain of the attribute Pi. So this is the union compatibility rule. Now we have to check here what is cardinality and degree. Now this is table P, relation P, and this is relation Q. This table has 3 columns. Therefore, the degree of P is 3. Q has 3 columns, 3 attributes. Therefore, the degree of Q is 3. Now, for cardinality, we have to count the tuples. P has 4 rows or tuples. Therefore, cardinality of P is 4, whereas cardinality of Q is 5. If we count here, we would get 5 tuples. So the cardinality of Q is 5. Clear? Now, as these tables are union compatible. Why these two tables are union compatible? Because these two tables have same degree and similar name of attributes. Had there been the name of this attribute as D, and this contains ABC, P contains ABD, and Q contains ABC, then in that case these P and Q won't have been union compatible. Clear? So first operation is union. Union is mixing two relations. So the resultant relation will have all the elements of P as well as all the elements of Q. The duplicate element would be represented only once. So in this result relation, we have A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3, A4, B4, C4, A5, B5, C5, A6, B6, C6, and A7, B7, C7. So all the tuples of P is contained here, as well as all the tuples of Q have been contained here. Those tuples that are present in both the relations, say A1, B1, C1, A1, B1, C1, is represented here only once. Clear? So now we have to write the algebraic expression of this union. The resultant relation is R. Table is R. So if we consider all these tuples as small t, then R equal to T such that from where these T have come, these T either belongs to P or this is the symbol of or T belongs to Q. This is the expression of T, R. R consists of set of tuples T. These are set of tuples T such that T belongs to P or T belongs to Q. Now what would be the cardinality of R? Cardinality of R would be greater than or equal to maximum of cardinality of P or cardinality of Q. Whereas cardinality of R must be less than equal to cardinality of P plus cardinality of Q. So we can understand it with an example. Say P contains 100 tuples and Q contains 10 tuples. Clear? Now there are two extreme situations. Either the 10 tuples of Q are present in P. The another extreme condition may be these 10 tuples are not present in P. So in both the cases, what happens? If these 10 tuples are present in P, then what would be the cardinality of P? Only 100. Because these 10 are present in P. So Q becomes a subset of P. Now the second situation is if these 10 are not present in P, in that case we will have 100 plus 10, in total 110 tuples. So if this example is there, the minimum cardinality of the resultant relation would be 100, maximum of the cardinality of either P or Q, and the maximum cardinality would be the sum of the two operand relations, that is 110 here in this case. Okay, this is union. Now intersection. In case of intersection, we see that only two tuples are present in P as well as Q. This A1, B1, C1 and A4, B4, C4. Clear? So the resultant relation has A1, B1, C1, A1, A4, B4 and C4. Only these two tuples are present in P as well as Q. So what would be the algebraic expression? So this is operation R equal to P intersection Q. So R is equal to set of tuples T such that T belongs to P, and this is the symbol of AND. So T belongs to P and T belongs to Q. Means the resultant relation R will have only those tuples that are present in P as well as in the Q. Clear? What would be the cardinality of R? If there is no matching tuple, in this case, if 10 tuples are not present in P, what would be the total result? That will be 0. So the cardinality of R, in case no tuple is common, will be 0. This is the minimum value. And maximum of cardinality of R would be minimum of P or Q. How? Suppose all these 10 tuples are present in P. So what would be the result? These 10 elements are present in P. Then the result would be 10. Only 10. So here what happens? The maximum cardinality will be minimum of P or Q. Clear? This is intersection. And what happens in case of difference? Difference is minus. Set difference. So R equal to P minus Q. R equal to P minus Q such that R equal to T such that T belongs to P and T does not belong to Q. So it means those tuples that are present in P but not present in Q is the result of R. So R is equal to T such that T belongs to P and T does not belong to Q. So what will be the cardinality of R? Cardinality of R would be greater than equal to 0 or less than equal to P. Clear? Now Cartesian product. Cartesian product is the cross product. So this is table P and this is table Q. In Cartesian product, what happens? R is equal to P into Q. It means this tuple will concatenate with this tuple as well as with this tuple. So 101 RAM P1 DBMS, one set, 101 RAM P2 operating system. Similarly 102 Sohan P1 DBMS, 102 Sohan P2 operating system. 103 John P1 DBMS, 103 John P2 operating system. 104 Pooja P1 DBMS, 104 Pooja P2 operating system. Means every tuple of this relation will concatenate with every relation of another operand relation. So if this table has 10 tuples and this table had 5 tuples, in total in the resultant relation we would have 50 tuples. 10 into 5. Here in this example we have 4 tuples in P and 2 tuples in Q. Therefore we have 8 tuples in the total. So what is the algebraic expression? R is equal to T such that T1 concatenation T2. This is the symbol of concatenation, two parallel vertical lines. T equal to T1 concatenation T2. And T1 belongs to P and T2 belongs to Q. So from where this T1 has arrived? कहाँ से आया ये? This has come from T1 from, this is T1 and these tuples are supposed to be T2. So T1 belongs to P and T2 belongs to Q. T1 concatenation T2. T1 concatenation T2. Clear? So the cardinality of R would be cardinality of P into cardinality of Q. What will be the degree of relation R? Degree of R would be equal to degree of P plus degree of Q. Clear? Here the name of the attribute has been written as P.id because this attribute has arrived from a relation P.name means name has been taken from relation P. It is Q.pid because PID has been taken from relation Q and Q.name, Q.pname. Clear? So we have understood union, intersection, minus and cross product or Cartesian product. So that's all for this session. Thank you. In the next session, we should understand division, projection, selection and join. Thank you.